Hi everyone. Today we are going to start new chapter, that is chemical thermodynamics. Okay. Before this we have learned about energy and their types. Okay, that means whatever may be work we have to do everything will needs energy. Okay, and we have seen the different types of energy or different forms of energy. Okay, like potential energy, kinetic energy, then mechanical energy, electrical energy, or we can say hydroelectric energy. So we have seen like this different forms of energy. Okay, now we are going to learn about the thermodynamics, and this thermodynamics is we can see a part of science. Okay, because of we are used to learn in physics also, in chemistry also. Therefore we can see it is a part of science which deals with the study of energy changes in physical and chemical transformations. Okay, how we can define the thermodynamics? Thermodynamics is a part of science which deals with the change in physical and chemical transformations, or we can see thermodynamics is concerned with the energy changes in physical and chemical transformations. That means the energy required for the physical transformation. That means if we are going to heat any solid substance, then it converted into a liquid. Okay, or if we want that liquid convert into vapor, then also it needs heat. That means it is also one type of energy. Okay, or if we want to convert methane into methyl chloride, okay, we are using a photochemical energy. Okay, in our reaction of methane and chlorine in presence of photochemical energy. That means we can see the we can say thermodynamics is concerned with the energy changes in physical and chemical transformations. Okay, for the conversion of ice into water and water into gaseous water or vapors of water, all needs a heat. Okay, if we want to push or we want to change a position of any object, then it also needs energy. Okay, so we can learn thermodynamics in both physics and chemistry. Therefore we can say thermodynamics is a part of science which concerned with the study of, or which concerned the changes in energy in physical and chemical transformations. Okay, now generally, this thermodynamics gives the information about the feasibility of reaction. Okay, now what is meant by feasibility of reaction? That means whether the reaction is exactly occurring or not. That means the conversion of reactant into product takes place or does not takes place. That is the feasibility of reaction. Okay, and this thermodynamics gives the information about the feasibility of reaction. Okay, that means really reaction will proceed or will not proceed. Okay, after this, last year we have seen chemical equilibrium. Okay, now in chemical equilibrium gives the information, or the chemical equilibrium is defined as, or it gives the information about the extent of reaction. Okay, now just go through one by one. Okay, if the reaction is feasible, that means the reaction is proceeds from reactant to product. Okay, then how much extent it will proceed? That means if we have taken 100 moles of any reactant, okay, then how much moles of product we will get? That is nothing but the extent of reaction. Okay, that means 100 moles gives only 50 moles, 100 moles gives 99 moles, 100 moles gives 90 moles, or 100 moles gives only 30 moles of a product. Okay, that is the extent of reaction. That means in how much extent or in how much proportion reaction is going to be proceed. Okay, so it is called as the chemical equilibrium. Okay, and after this, one new chapter is there, that is chemical kinetics. Okay, now the chemical kinetics gives the information about the rate of reaction. Okay, now the rate of reaction means how fast or how slow is reaction is proceed. Okay, that is the chemical kinetics. Okay, these 3 points I have mentioned here just to clarify the concept for the thermodynamics, chemical equilibrium and chemical kinetics, because after thermodynamics we'll think about chemical equilibrium, and after chemical equilibrium it links the points to chemical kinetics. Okay, but now for this lesson you have to remember only thermodynamics gives information about the feasibility of reaction, that means whether the reaction will occur or will not occur. Okay, now the basic terms used in thermodynamics, and that terms are, first one is system and second one is surrounding. First one is system and second one is surrounding. Okay, just imagine one thing, you are in a room. Okay, that means your room is like a system. Okay, and outer part of the room is like a universe. Okay, or if you can consider yourself as a system. Okay, and the part of other than you, it is also a surrounding, because every part of the universe will interact with your body. Okay, so on the interacting system, or the part which is going to be investigate, it is called as a system. Okay, so we can define a system like a part of universe under thermodynamic investigation. Okay, the part of universe under thermodynamic investigation, and that part of universe is called as system. Okay, the same way we can define the part other than system is called as surrounding. Okay, we can consider all part of the universe outside the system or other than system is called as surrounding. Okay, so these two basic terms you have to remember. Okay, what is system and surrounding? What is a system? System is a part of universe under thermodynamic investigation. Okay, and surrounding, what is a surrounding? All part of the universe outside the system. Okay, so what we have seen? We have seen the definition of thermodynamics. Second, we have seen thermodynamics gives information about the feasibility of reaction, and two terms we have seen used in thermodynamics, that is system and surrounding. Okay, now we'll see types of system. Okay, so we are going to see three types of system, that is open system, closed system and isolated system. Okay, for this you have to remember matter and energy. What we have to remember? Matter and energy. Matter and energy. Okay, now see, if you considered a tea or coffee in a cup. Okay, if you considered hot tea or coffee in a cup. Okay, or consider a cup of tea. Okay, now see, this amount of tea is the matter. Okay, this amount of tea is nothing but what? It is a matter, or tea is the matter. Okay, and heat is the energy. Okay, so if we kept a cup of tea as it is, then after some time it will cool. After some time it will cool. Okay, and this matter can be exchanged from system to surrounding. Okay, that means if we consider this one is the system and this is the surrounding. Okay, then this matter can also be changed with surrounding, and the energy can also be exchanged with the surrounding. Okay, so we can consider a system which exchanges both energy and matter with the surrounding is called as open system. Okay, what we have to remember, a system which exchanges both energy and matter with the surrounding is called an open system. And for example is a cup of tea or hot water in a beaker. Okay, now second one thing, closed system. Okay, now what is a closed system? Second one is closed system. Okay, same, consider a cup of tea. Consider a cup of tea which is covered by saucer. Okay, which is covered by saucer. That is, see, now here energy can be exchanged after some time. Okay, but matter cannot exchange. Okay, so we can define a closed system like this: a system that exchanges energy but not matter. Okay, only exchange of energy, exchange of energy and not matter, not the matter. Such a system is called as closed system. Okay, so what we have to remember, a system that exchanges energy and not matter with the surrounding is called as closed system. And example is a cup of tea or coffee covered with saucer. Okay, and the third system is isolated system. Okay, now in isolated system, a system does not allow exchange of energy and matter, or we can define a system which does not allow either exchange of either energy or matter with the surrounding is called as isolated system. Okay, and the example of isolated system is tea in a thermos flask. Okay, if we consider this one is the thermos flask. Okay, so tea can be as it is for 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. Okay, that means here as compared to a cup of tea in open environment or in a or cup of tea covered with a saucer, it will take a long time to cool it. Okay, or there will not be exchange of matter with the surrounding, and therefore a cup therefore a tea cup or any hot material in a insulated system is called as isolated system. Okay, after this we are going to see properties of system. Now the two basic properties of the system are extensive property and intensive property. What we have to remember, extensive property and intensive property and intensive property. Okay, now what is the basic difference between extensive properties and intensive properties? Okay, now extensive properties are the properties which depends on amount of matter present in a system. Okay, a property which depends on amount of matter, depends on amount of matter present in a system, such property is called as extensive property, or such properties are called as extensive properties. Okay, and opposite to this, a property which independent on amount of matter present in a system, such properties are called as intensive properties. Okay, and the examples of extensive properties are, first example of extensive property is mass, second one is volume, third one is heat capacity, next one is internal energy, and fifth one is number of moles, okay. Higher is the mass, higher is the matter, higher will be the mass, higher is the matter, higher will be the volume. Okay, now if we consider, we have taken a 4 glasses. Okay, so mass of 4 glasses is, if we consider mass of 4 glasses is 100 grams. Okay, then, and if we have taken 10 glasses, okay, then the mass of the 10 glasses will be 250 gram of same size. Okay, that means as the matter increases, mass increases. Okay, same way if we have taken a 2 balls, okay, and if we have taken a 4 balls, okay, that means if we have taken a 4 balls of same size, then the volume of matter increases. Okay, that means heat capacity means the ability to absorb heat or to evolve heat, that is the heat capacity. And higher will be the mass of higher will be the matter, then higher will be the capacity, lower will be the mass, lower will be the matter, lower will be the heat capacity. Same like internal energy, same for the number of moles. Okay, higher will be the matter or maximum will be the matter, higher maximum will be the number of moles, lower will be the matter, then lower will be the number of moles present in a. So these are the properties. Which properties? First one is mass, second one is volume, third one is internal energy, fourth one is heat capacity, and fifth one is number of moles. These are the extensive properties. Okay, now next we have seen intensive properties, properties which are independent of matter of substance present in a system is called as intensive properties. And the examples of intensive properties are pressure, temperature, surface tension, viscosity, melting point, boiling point, specific heat, etc. Okay, so we have to remember these basic terms of thermodynamics. Okay, till that keep on watching. Okay, so thank you.